Hey everybody, I am really sorry that this video is late, but I just wanted to wait one more day so that I could talk about this whole pink shirt thing, plus the fact that I have been having issues with the internet. That's honestly the fundamental fact. But the whole pink shirt excuse that I was trying to use there was that today is Anti-Bullying Awareness Day or something along those lines. I'm probably using the wrong words. But essentially it began when a boy wore a pink shirt to school and was bullied for that. I think it was in 2011 November, if I remember the article I read today correctly. So somebody saw this and they were not impressed with this. They were in fact very upset. So what they did is they went home that night, bought, I think the number was something like 50 pink shirts, and distributed among his friends. And then the next day, all of them wore pink shirts to school the next day. So that's really kind of where this came from, so that's pretty interesting. But that raises an important question. So say I didn't have a pink shirt. This is honestly my only pink shirt. And I went to school today and I didn't have a pink shirt, so I was just like wearing my black shirt or my green and blue. Blue is actually my color, but whatever. I was wearing my blue shirt, and does that mean that because I'm not, I don't know, advocating against bullying, does that mean I'm for bullying? Does being against one mean you're automatically for the other, or being for one mean you're automatically against the other? I don't know. There's just a weird stuff that goes through my mind sometimes. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Random thoughts. I am insanely tired because we had a crazy weekend of Model UN, and if you don't know what that is, you're probably one step lower on the nerd scale. So congratulations, or I'm sorry. United Nations is essentially an organization where each country has a representative or a delegate. Basically represents a delegation, which is like the country. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this, but and then they meet and they talk through world issues to try to combat things like inequality, establish Aboriginal rights, media freedom in the digital age, to what degree should there be censorship. Basically, you're assigned a country by your school, and then you go represent that country in the conference. And there are different awards like Best Speaker, Outstanding Delegate, not Best Speaker, sorry, Best Delegate, Outstanding Delegate, and there's a couple speaker awards. Tired brain. But shout out to Anag Katayana. No. I do not know how to say his last name, but yeah, he got a verbal accommodation. He got a verbal accommodation. That's what it was. He got a verbal accommodation, so that means he did awesome in one of the biggest committees that there were yesterday, this weekend. However, he could not have done it without his awesome Westernites. Is that a Westerners? Is this a thing? Yeah, we definitely, the delegation of Turkey and Netherlands and Democratic Republic of Congo definitely carried him to achieving the success he did, so you're welcome. So that brings us to this week's topic, now that we've covered the general weekly stuff. So, diplomas. If you don't know what a diploma is, I don't know what marking systems other countries use, but essentially a diploma is a way for the government to administer one standard test to our province, which is like a state. Oh, that little part of me died to have to compare that, but yeah, provinces and states are not exactly the same, but essentially, I mean, for the sake of this video, it's an okay comparison. Most people know the United States. Maybe states, districts, like District 12, yeah, chilling in Alberta here. Cowtown, cow and oil. Diploma marks came out last week. Good news, bad news, alright. I hope that the pain of those marks have subsided at this point, because for those of you who don't know, diploma marks are worth 50% of your course grade. So that means that the 4 months of school, or I'm not exactly sure. I have not calculated this, but the 4 months or so of school that you had leading up to that exam counts the same amount as the actual exam itself. Okay. So that means that the 2.5 or 3 hours that you get to write this exam is essentially just as important as however many hours you spent before that trying to get good grades, working on quizzes, exams. It's kind of a big deal. Yeah, so this last month, just over a month ago, I wrote my Math 30 exam, which is like the grade 12 math exam, whatever. And I was so sick. I was deathly sick. I apologize for anybody whom I might have contaminated. I have not been that sick in years. I wrote my bio final the week before, so the whole immune system thing was stress. It just my immune system was gone. I was so sick. So I walked into that test and I was like trying to keep my eyes open. I was on medication. I was like, how am I gonna do this test? I get there and I'm starting to freak out. I've already had the whole speech where it's like, this mark will stay with you for the rest of your life. Not entirely true, but okay. There are opportunities for rewrites. You just have to pay money, unfortunately, which is not something I want to do. Now, think about it this way. That was probably not the best performance I could have given. I was exhausted. I had been studying crazily amount the weekend before, which is kind of challenging for math, I find specifically. But looking at it that way, I was so sick. I walked into that exam, I did it. 3-hour exam. And that was going to be worth 50% of my entire course. So now with my deathly sick example, there's also of course other examples of why that exact moment would not necessarily be the best time to be taking that exam. So I put out a poll last week to basically see what you guys thought about in terms of how much should diploma marks be worth. So let's take a look at what you guys thought. Looking at the responses, I got 28. Oh crap, that didn't work out. I got 28 responses, and of those 28 responses, let's see, 8 of you, which is about 30%, said that diplomas should be weighted at 50%. I cannot read numbers. 19 of you, which is about just over 70%, said that diploma should be weighted 30%, which is like the standard final exam weight. 1 of you said that diploma should be weighted 10%. Then I asked another question, why did you choose the above answer? And to read some of the responses, says that the scaling looks more fair, having the diplomas worth 30% of the final average, since that way other exams would have more of effect on the final average. Also, it wouldn't be fair for people who do bad on diplomas but well on the rest of the exams to end up with a bad average. The idea of one test ruining one's total average sounds too extreme. Yep, I would totally agree with that. This was one of the people who said that diplomas should be weighted 50%. They said that if diplomas are weighted 50%, it's a more fair standardization throughout the schools and preparation for university. Now, there are some arguments there that some university courses actually don't have final exams weighted that much. Things are starting to change with that, but I know that other programs still have 1 paper, 1 exam, each worth 50%. And in that case, I would see how it is beneficial. Let's see what else there is. This person actually had a good comment. Half of your marks should not be dependent upon a single exam. You spend more time on your coursework, unit tests, and quizzes, so why should one exam be worth the same as all those other things combined? Also, the large weighting causes major stress in students, which could impact the results negatively. True. Some students also don't try during the year as they believe the diploma exam will just boost their mark because it is worth so much. I wasn't aware of that, but interesting thought. Overall, having the diploma weigh 50% of a student's grade is not an accurate reflection of their understanding of the course and should therefore be lowered to a more reasonable 30%. Now that brings an interesting concept up. this person, I don't want to criticize them, but the way they phrased that made me think, they're questioning the accuracy of comprehension. How do we measure comprehension? How do we test comprehension? There's lots of arguments that, oh, blah, 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 people don't test well. They might know something, but they test poorly is the argument. So there's definitely that to be considering as well. I don't have answers on these things, unfortunately. So everybody, that wraps up this random video. If you guys have any other thoughts on diplomas and how you ideally think that school system should be run, how do we test for comprehension, definitely leave it in the comments below. I will read over them and definitely respond, because that's what I do. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I'm going to leave the diploma survey open that I mentioned in my previous video. You can check out last week's video here. Yeah, I still want to see your responses. If you're too scared to comment, just respond on the questions. And I really want to think, like, I find this stuff really interesting. Like, what are people's thoughts on this, and how can we really make the system better? This is probably still some residual thoughts from Model UN, trying to improve systems and applications and stuff, but you know, whatever. Stay awesome, guys. Peace to all.